in Washington. I think it was Clyde Watts, General Clyde Watts, years ago, said, he was speaking of judges in those days, but he could have as well talked about congressmen. He said, they may not see the light, but they can feel the heat. And this is true. I don't know if you folks know, well, I know many of you folks here know all about the TRIM committees, which are part of the John Birch Society. They have proven themselves to be excellent ways of getting some of these big spenders out of Congress. It just happened. We saw, but I think it was 30 of them replaced. Not entirely because of TRIM activity, but believe me, it had a lot to do with it. This is something that works. And even those that didn't come up, that didn't get replaced, they're having their voting records changed. I don't have the name here, unfortunately, but I heard just the other day there was some congressman. We had the letters shown to us there. Here was a guy with his voting record it was very bad. He was voting for big government and higher taxes. And the TRIM committee started to hand out his TRIM bulletins in his district, and it was at a gun show. And he came over and says, take those things off the table. And he was irate. He said, well, we can't do that, Congressman. That's your report card, you know. And he wrote a real nasty letter or two, and they had copies of it. And he said, you know, I think that these TRIM bulletins are good for one thing, and that's to line the bottom of the bird cage. That's what he said. The next election, his report card was all good. He decided, I can't get rid of these TRIM bulletins. He's changed his voting, and the next report card was good. He straightened out. He had no particular principles, but these fellows put their finger to the wind, and they can tell which way it's blowing. If he wanted to be reelected, he had to get into step. And I know that a lot of these people go around saying, well, I've been trying to warn my constituents of this danger for many years, once the fire is built under their seats. So that's a very important program, and we can do it simply by exposing the voting records of these people and not just taking their words. Now, all of this, of course, this whole program requires an informed electorate, and that doesn't just happen. You don't inform the electorate just by wanting it to happen. You have to have quality educational materials. You have to know that they're accurate. You have to be able to rely on them. You have to have an organization to prepare and distribute these materials. They just don't go out on their own. I mean, I could have written this book, for example, and it would have just stacked up in my garage without the Speakers Committee, without the Birch Society's programs and its chapters and its people in place, its coordinators. It takes organization to make these things happen. And of course, not the least of which, it takes leadership, which has proven its ability and its expertise, particularly its integrity, so it can offer real solutions instead of non-solutions, and leadership which is not going to be purchased and run by the opposition. And of course, that is the mission of the John Birch Society. If there's anybody here who's not a member yet, I just want to tell you that the Society is an ideological army, and the time has come to enlist. I think it was Patrick Henry who put it pretty well. He said, our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? Now, the bad news is that time is running out. It used to be that I told people that about some of these problems, and they would say to me, could never happen in America. You're just exaggerating, you know. And now they say, how much time do you think we have left? Because you can see it. It's all around us. The New World Order is being built around us. We have a world army being built, a world court being built, a world taxing authority being built, a world trading authority being built. It's being built all around us. You realize right now, as we speak, over half of our standing military is now serving under foreign officers. This thing is going rapidly, ladies and gentlemen. So, we're running out of time. But the good news is we still have time. We still have time, and we have the freedom to work. We can do it if we'll work like the Dickens, like our freedom and our lives depended upon it. They do. That's precisely what does depend on it. So instead of being sour about how late the hour is, we should rejoice over the fact that we still have freedom. We still can meet like this. We can hold public meetings. We still have elections. We can still throw these scoundrels out. So what we need to do now is just get to work and do that which we must do. We can still overthrow the government of the United States every 2 years without firing a single shot if we'll simply discharge the responsibility of citizenship, which comes along with being free men. So that's my message with you, ladies and gentlemen, and that is that whatever it is you plan to do for your freedom or your country, do it now. And a good place to begin is to send Epictetus back to Phrygia. And let's convert that mammoth appearance of the fourth kind into a disappearance of the first kind. Thank you.